Yes, we want to operate in granted. Yeah, for granted. Yeah. Right? We're not taking anything for granted, but we're in discussions all the time with our diplomatic partners, with discussions with the UN, with the Commonwealth, with CARICOM, and the whole world is on our side. And up to last night we had a number of meetings, so everybody is just saying that 100% behind Guyana. And if Venezuela is behave in any reckless manner, they're going to be very supportive of Guyana in every way, shape, and form. So
it belongs to the end,
right. So we're not taking anything for granted, but I don't think we'll ever get there because the diplomatic pressure and the work of the international community.
But see,
I am coming through the entire region, a number of communities along the border this morning, and our primary purpose of visiting today is to do a number of things. One, to let you know that we are strongly defending what is ours, and that is the Essequibo. All of it.
right.
Secondly, we know that there's a lot of tension based on the rhetoric from Venezuela, based on the type of statement that is coming out of Venezuela, and the attitude of the Venezuelan authorities leading up to the referendum. Now, we are not in any way, shape, or form taking anything for granted. So everything that is required of us as a people, as a government, the military, we are in a state of preparedness. Notwithstanding that, we do not expect Venezuela to act in a reckless way. We want to assure you that Guyana's position is that this matter must be settled peacefully at the ICJ, that we are going to respect the outcome of the ICJ. We call on Venezuela to also do the same. And we want you to know that
border. We are patrolling the Amakura River. We have a boat there, 2 boats. And we're going up and we're seeing the soldiers, the Venezuelan soldiers. Good morning, waving hands. And we are defining and defending our territory by our presence there. But there's a lot of rumor. Some people see something, happening, and then they pass it on to someone. And you know how rumor goes. It keeps adding on, and then there's a fear. We don't want you to do that.
But could we ask for more military presence?
All right, so let me say a few things. One is that there are a few things we have to address, and as I said, we are not taking anything for granted.
Right.
We are putting all systems in place. So it is not only physically the people you see on the ground. It is a monitoring system. The world has evolved. The technology has advanced, and with our partners, as I said earlier, we have a lot of joint exercises. We have a lot of our partners working with us. We are able to do what 500 men can do with one piece of technology in monitoring. So we are also adding to our strength based on the situational analysis. And as it is now, the Guyana Defense Force has done its analysis, and what is required based on the present level of analysis, they are putting in place everything that is required. We don't want any overreaction or overreach, but I want to assure you that behind the scenes, in addition to the physical men and women you're seeing on the ground, there's a lot more work that is going on. So as the situation unfolds, as the analysis continues, they will determine what strength and what level of physical presence they need, what level of asset they need. But we are sparing no effort. Everything that is needed, we are making available, but we don't want to sound alarm bells. As I said, we are not taking anything for granted, because we are listening carefully to the rhetoric that is coming out of Venezuela. The only difference now in an electoral cycle is the politicians with the rhetoric. Now we are hearing military politicians who should be more measured in what they say are joining the rhetoric. So we are not taking anything for granted. But we want our population to be assured of what we are doing, to be assured that our partners are solidly behind us. There's a series of activities you will see that will demonstrate how solid this relationship is. And I've been engaging many leaders. Even yesterday, I spoke with many leaders in the region, many leaders internationally on this matter, and they have all once again very strongly condemned any action or any behavior by Venezuela that leads to recklessness. And they have all, President Lula made it very clear that the ICJ process should be respected, and outcomes should be respected. Now I want to explain something to you. We went to the ICJ for precautionary measures. Now, what is this measure that we went there recently? Because in the referendum there are questions that can directly affect the peace and stability of our region, we went on those matters. We did not go to stop the referendum. Any country can do a referendum, that's the internal business. But when questions in the referendum affect our country and our territory, then we have to go to have precautionary measures against those. And that is what we went to the court for. And based on our case, we are confident that the court would, one, say that they can go ahead with the referendum, but the court will, in our estimation, based on our argument, issue those precautionary measures. And if Venezuela act outside of those precautionary measures, then they will be acting recklessly outside the course of international law. And the world would not, and our partners would not sit by and see them acting outside of international law. So we have all of this on our side. We have international law on our side. We have democracy on our side. We have peace on our side. We have our neighbors, CARICOM, Commonwealth, Brazil. We have the US. We have all of these international partners on our side. So we can't, the citizens here can't allow the Venezuelan narrative, because their narrative, what they want is to create fear in your minds. What they want is to create fear in the communities. And we can't allow them to win by creating the fear and having person responding to that fear. But when we respond to that narrative, then we are feeding into their propaganda. We are feeding into their propaganda. As I said, we are not taking this for granted. But all of us have a role. And all we are saying to you is to listen to the news from the reliable source, listen to the Guyana Defense Force, listen to the government of Guyana, and we have mobilized the entire press corps to work on ensuring people are kept aware. And the Ministry of Education. So, in the Ministry of Education, for example, there are a number of flyers. There will be special programs in the school to educate our children over the coming days.
Yes.
Yeah.
Remember, we have a lot of Venezuela in this country.
Yeah.
What we have in place, in cases concerns revolt. Remember now, in Venezuela, once you're 18, you saw the army, you saw the military, and I would say 80% of Venezuelans, they are military trained, right? Do we have anything in place to guard these Venezuelans, especially the men in this country?
All right.
So we have an uprising.
That's a fair question, because that's a question many people are asking. The Venezuelans in the country, and to be frank, people are asking, can we trust the Venezuelans?
Right. Could we trust them?
Are they part of a broader plan? Let me put it this way. At one time, Guyana was in an unfortunate position.
Yes, sir.
Our people were going to many other lands. Our people were going to the US, Canada, or people were going to Venezuela. But matter of fact, we have a big population of Guyanese in Venezuela. So we must not allow Venezuela, allow the few misguided forces, the misguided forces in Venezuela, to change our attitude towards our fellow neighbors. Notwithstanding that, however, we are taking this concern seriously. And between our joint services, our intelligence services, we are constantly evaluating and paying attention to the narrative within the community, to the type of messaging that is coming out. But today, for example, I saw earlier today, members of a particular church that has a lot of Venezuelans. They are organizing a solidarity march for Guyana. And so we have to look at the positive side. How do we get our Venezuelan brothers and sisters who are here because they want a better life, who are here because they moved away from the hardships that Venezuela is facing? How do we get them to send a strong message also to Venezuela about how they're treated here, how they're welcome here, and how they stand up for us? But in the case of the illegal movement along the border, I can tell you that we have stepped up significantly our monitoring. We have stepped up significantly the systems that we have in looking at persons coming through the border. We have international responsibility, and we are paying close attention to this. We are paying close attention to this. What I will say is that there's one set of analysts who believe that the border should be completely closed. Now you understand that we have communities along the borders on both sides that are integrated, so it's very difficult to do this. You understand, right? So the people who live along the border understand how important it is to keep it open, and all of them are saying we don't need to close this. But what we need to do is enhance the monitoring, and that is what we are doing: enhance monitoring and ensuring that bad eggs don't pass through, or ensuring
you have bad eggs.
Yes, of course, some will pass, but then we have to strengthen our internal security too. It's not just the Guyana Defense Force. That is why I have the operations, the Deputy Commissioner Operations. Where is he? He is here. Because part of what we're doing too is to strengthen our internal system. We have to strengthen our internal system because, as I said, we're not taking anything for granted. we're not taking anything. But our intelligence suggests, for example, that they're using female soldiers from Venezuela to try to infiltrate the borders to gather intelligence and to get intelligence. And we already have this information.
Good morning, President. Nice to meet you. Nice to see you today. Happy. Good.
That soldier, not the boss. It's like army, I a soldier. Nobody got to tell me nothing. Yeah. I like it. Senti la trip. Everybody, come this way. Come in closer, please. All right, come in closer. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. First of all, let me tell you how very pleased I am to be here with you this morning. With me this morning, I have our Chief of Staff, Brigadier Khan. We have Colonel Howell, Shahood. We have the Macaulay commander in this area. We have the police. And I want this morning to spend some time with you. We have been speaking to residents since we came. And I want you to know that we are together. We are together as Guyanese. Yes. We are together on this issue of Essequibo. We all as one people, one nation, one destiny. All of us as one Guyana understand clearly that Essequibo belongs to Guyana. There is no doubt about that. We are very clear that Essequibo belongs to Guyana. But much more important than our own understanding of history, our own understanding of geography and the agreement on our borders is the international community. And I want to assure you that the international community is strongly behind Guyana. I've had the opportunity to speak to many leaders across the world. The Brigadier Khan had the opportunity to speak to many of his colleagues, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the Parliament of Guyana. All of us together, we have the full assurances of the international community that they will not allow anyone to take the eyes and pass us. They will not allow Venezuela to act in a reckless way. We are a peaceful people. Our pursuit is peace. We want to and we continue to encourage Venezuela to follow international law, to work in the confines of the International Court of Justice, and to ensure that they comply with international law. And this is what our neighbors, I spoke to President Lula, we spoke to the US up to last night, and other development partners. And this is all they want, to ensure that Venezuela act in full compliance of international law and do not act in a reckless way. But we do have to ensure that we don't fall prey to the narrative, that we don't succumb to the propaganda of Venezuela. And that propaganda and that narrative of Venezuela is to drive fear. It's to drive fear among our people. And we have to ensure that we don't allow the type of statements that is coming out of Venezuela to drive fear among us. That is important because one of the purpose of the propaganda and the lies coming out of Venezuela is to create fear among our people. And there is no need to be fearful. Whilst we're all working towards the objective of resolving this controversy peacefully, we're not taking anything for granted. That is why the activities you're seeing by the Guyana Defense Force, that is part of our overall strategy. It is nothing to be alarmed about. Over the coming days, weeks and months, you will see greater collaboration with our international partners because we are strengthening our defense cooperation and collaboration with the United States. And between the US and the Guyana Defense Force, there are many training programs that are planned and pre-planned to strengthen our relationship and to enhance and deepen our defense diplomacy and our defense relationship. So I don't want persons to misread the activities, the training programs, and all that we are doing. But although we are of the opinion that Venezuela will not act recklessly, we cannot be unprepared. We have to ensure that we are prepared. We have to ensure that we do everything within our own environment to secure ourselves. And that is where our international partners are strongly behind us too. Our international partners have sent a very strong signal that they will not allow anyone to trample on democracy, to trample on the rule of law, and to trample on the peaceful existence of our country and our people. And I want to say to you, our Venezuelan brothers and sisters who are here, that you have nothing to fear in our society. You will experience the love and welcoming nature of the people of Guyana. You have seen that we are a people of peace. We are a people who care about humanity. Even before we had the resources we have today, there was one study that showed that Guyana contributed the most for population, per capita in the population, when international disasters hit the world. We had the highest ranking in terms of the contribution we made per capita when different people across the world is faced with difficulties. We have always stand on the side of principle. We have always conducted ourselves on the basis of principle, on the basis of love, on the basis of unity, and on the basis of peace. And that is not going to change. Fundamentally, we want this issue, and our approach to resolving this issue is in a peaceful manner. That is what we are pursuing, and that is what we're engaged with the diplomatic community and our friends across the world. We have the full support of the Commonwealth group of countries. We have the full support of CARICOM. We have the full support of all our neighbors, Brazil, for example. We have the support of our extra-regional partners, including the strong support of the United States. So our message to the residents here is that whilst we're not taking anything for granted, and whilst we all have to be cautious and we all have to be alert, there is absolutely nothing to fear. There is absolutely nothing to fear. We are doing everything in accordance with international guidelines, and we are of the opinion that Venezuela will not act recklessly based on all the support and all the encouragement and guidance that the international community is giving. So I want to assure you, my dear friends, this morning, that we are here and you will continue to see us here all the time. We will be in every single community. Continue your daily lives. Continue to advance your work. Because the most important thing for us to do right now is to come together, not only in unified support of our country and Essequibo, but we have to come together in the development of our community. We are focused, we cannot be thrown off track in relation to the development that we want to bring to every single community. So we are working on the improvement of your education, your health, your infrastructure, your security. And one of the important things too is not only the Guyana Defense Force, and that is why we have the Deputy Commissioner Operations here. We have Deputy Commissioner Budram here. And Deputy Commissioner Budram is looking at our internal security, because our internal security is also important, because we are following, as I said, it is not only the men and women in uniform you see around here. There's a lot of work that is going on behind the scenes. Today's world, what technology can do to 500 men to do. With the use of technology, we are also assessing intelligence, assessing information that we get continuously. And one of the things we have to guard against is the infiltration of bad elements. And that is where you have to become our eyes and ears also, in supporting us, in identifying whether they are bad elements or planted elements in our society. And that is why the Guyana Police Force is also actively, and you will see greater activism in the Guyana Police Force in ensuring that our internal security also remains very strong, vigilant, and our intelligence mechanism and information gathering mechanism is at its best. So residents, I want you to be assured, I came here myself this morning to assure you that we are together 100%. We are on top of this. We are working at every single level. We have the full support of our partners in the international community, and you have nothing to fear. We are with you 100%. We prefer to err on the side of caution. That is why we are taking every step. That is why we are putting everything in place. That is why we are ensuring that we are prepared for anything, because we want to err on the side of caution. We cannot take anything for granted. So together, we are one. We are one for Essequibo. We are one for Guyana. Are we together? Yes. Good. So I want to ask the Brigadier Khan to say a few words with you now, and then I'm going to all the communities. From here, I'm going to Port Kaituma and other communities all of today. And I can't tell you, it will be throughout the coming weeks. You will be seeing me a lot. But I want you to know we love you, we love peace, we care about you, and we are here with you 100%.
Thank you, Commander-in-Chief. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Buenos días. Venezolanos.
Okay.
I noticed your sign. It says, and my little Spanish, Venezuelans are with Guyana.
Yeah.
No queremos a Maduro. We do not want Maduro.
No.
I want to let you know I have a constitutional responsibility to protect Guyana. I have a constitutional responsibility to safeguard Guyana and to protect you, the people. Every soldier in uniform has that constitutional responsibility. And I want to let you know what the Commander-in-Chief just said. This is not all that you see. Behind the scene, we are working. We are working to protect you and this country. Not an inch of Guyana will be lost. We will continue to do what we are best at in patrolling our waterways, patrolling our borders, and continue to talk to our community, you, the people. Yes, we have a lot of friends, just like you. Our friends are in the international community. Just recently, there was several meetings in which we had discussion. And you know what we're discussing? Bringing peace, stability, and security to this region. No country in this region is desirous of affecting that or any conflict. So we are working towards that. Militaries exist not to go to war. We fight for peace. We promote peace. Guyana has always been a peaceful nation. And from where do we get this soldiers from? From the same community. That's you. So I want to assure you that we will continue to do our duty with diligence and with professionalism and with efficiency. Do not take on what you are seeing on social media. Rely on messaging coming from the Guyana Defense Force. Rely on message coming from the Guyana Police Force, where security matters are concerned. And we will continue to talk to you and across the whole of the land. Thank you, and may you continue to live happy and peaceful. Thank you.
Sir, my name is Yurika Gotran, and we feel much safer when we see the president come down and the army force, because first we are at the border, we live in there, and we were, as human beings, we feel like uncomfortable, but now, we feel a little more safer.
My name is Melissa Inez. I am pleased that the president has visited Region 1 to, give us an update on what is going on around us and also our entire country. And I think from his visit, the residents are much more comfortable and they're happy. That is the person they were expecting, and that is the person they see and they hear everything from. And I feel comfortable too.
My name is Sharman Das. I am from Aruka River, St. Dominic community. And I appreciate today that the president is here. I'm happy about it. And I'm happy that what he's doing. And I'm encouraging every resident, every communities across Guyana, not only Region 1, but across our nation, to keep strong hope, to keep love, and to keep fighting for our democracy, and to stand firm and strong, as always, as the people that are together and stand strong and firm. So I thank the president for being here today, for the full support, and I'm happy for seeing him and for his word of encouragement. And with this, I will say thank you, Mr. President. God is with you and with our country. God bless you and God bless Guyana.
Morning. My name is Ron Campbell from Mabaruma Township, Region 1, Guyana. I came here today to listen to what the president has to tell us. to assure us about our safety, and I was very pleased of what he had to say, because people are getting scared due to what is going on in Venezuela and so on. So what the president has done this morning is to assure us that our safety is paramount, and he's taken um, all necessary action to protect us.
Any words for your fellow residents?
To my fellow residents, I would say, don't be afraid of what is going on in Venezuela, because they have their elections coming up, and every time they have elections coming up in Venezuela, they always use this executable story to rile up their people in Venezuela. So y'all don't be afraid.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Miss Ellie Peterkin. I am the Regional Education Officer for Region 1. I want to say how elated I am that our president can take time off from his super busy schedule to ensure that he comes to meet with the residents of Region 1, more so Mabaruma. We are grateful because with his presence alone, we have reassurance that we have a president that will look out for us and that will ensure that security is a tense time we're having here in our country, more so in Region 1. But I can assure you that with our president and his words of assurance, and all of us who are playing our role to ensure that we spread the word, or we share the word, the positive word, that we are going to get through this together. Together we are going to get through this, and we are going to reassure a person that Guyana, the entire Guyana, Essequibo belongs to Guyana. Essequibo belongs to us. And we are going to continue to speak positive into our school population as well as the population at large to ensure that persons understand that together we are going to get through this, and with the help of God Almighty. Amen.